Welcome to today's little mini workshop. So we're going to jump into Chaturanga. So I'm not going to hover here for very long. So I can get down onto the mat. So Chaturanga is a great transition pose, but it's one of those slightly tricky ones. If you're not 100% sure of alignment, then you can get a bit of compression in your back, and you can put quite a lot of pressure on your wrists and down into your pelvis. So I'm just going to show you some simple tricks to make it a lot easier. To start with, you want to come into your plank position. If you have a strong practice and you're confident in coming from plank all the way down to the mat, then I'll show you the first option. But as you can see, it's pretty hard to get back up. So we'll do the I guess seasoned yogi version, you could say, but you really don't have to do this one. So you come from high plank through to low plank, roll across the toes, and then into your upward facing dog, and then back into your downward facing dog. So that's a seasoned yogi, I guess you could call it. But it takes quite a lot of strength in your upper arms and core engagement. And it took me a long time to get to that point. And actually, when I injured my back a few years ago, I went right back to basics for a long time as well. And then I've slowly worked back, and I now feel a bit more comfortable again in the flow of the up to down and then into upward facing dog. But if you're more at the start of your yoga experience, then what I would do is you come into your plank, lower the knees. Key is keeping your elbows in. It's quite tempting to stick the elbows out. Really zip in at the core, and then you're actually going to stick your bum out, and as you lower down, you're going to stick your bum out and you're heading your chin towards the mat, because the chin is going to be the thing that comes to the mat first. So it's going to be chin, chest, and then through. So lowering down, chin, 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 up, and then into your cobra. You can if you bring your feet wider apart, then that's going to protect compression in your spine, which I was, sorry, can't really see me, I was taught that trick only a few weeks ago in my pregnancy yoga actually. And it really does make a difference between having your feet out wide and having them close together. And then lower the head back down, bring the hands either side of the ribs, elbows in, tuck the toes under, way down into your knees, engage the quads, engage the core, and then lift up and back and transition through into your downward dog. And you can rest here. So coming back down, I'll show you that again. So we're in your plank, and you bring your knees to the mat, consciously bring the elbows in, and then lead with the chin, slightly stick out the bum. So leading with the chin, and then allowing the chest, pelvis to follow, dropping the shoulders, pushing the forearms out, and coming into your cobra. You can turn, look over your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder, and you can lower the forehead, draw the hands down by your ribs, tuck the toes under, way down into your knees, engage your quads, engage with the core, elbows in, and then lift up and back, and then up into your downward facing dog. And just to show you, so a full version, so a version of sun salutation, you'd step up to your hands, come into your flat back, exhale into your forward fold, circle your arms up overhead, drop the shoulders, tuck the tailbone, and then inhale, coming forward into your forward fold, inhale into your flat back, and then you would step or jump back. So you can step into your plank, or you can lightly jump into your plank, find your footing, and lower the knees, bum out, chin down, elbows in, la 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 la, and through. Legs out, shoulders down, glutes not engaged. The bottom of my spine feels completely open and free. And lower the forehead, arms down by the sides, tuck the toes, way down into the knees, engage the quads, engage the core, elbows in, and lift up and back into your downward facing dog. And there you have it. So that's where I would start with your Chaturanga, and then as you build up and you're feeling stronger in your arms and you're feeling stronger in your core, then you can play around a little bit. See if you can come into your plank, lower down a bit, and push up, and lower down a bit, and push up, and then you can come all the way down, and then come forward. But do you see how it's quite hard to get yourself forward, which is why I love this version, where you come forward and lower the knees, and then you lead with the chin, with the bum in the air, because that allows you to flow through and more easily into upward facing dog. So again, elbows in, chin, see I tuck the tailbone up a little, chin down, lead with the chin, and then roll into it, and then release down and push up. But I mean, my arms are having a real workout there. It really does. It really does take effect. It's a good workout. And then you can slowly build up if you want to, coming from high plank, then into low plank, and then rolling across the toes and back. But either one is as good as the other. Just the most important thing is that you're protecting your spine, you're using your core, so creating that airbag with your core. You're keeping your elbows tucked in, which will help with the shoulder blades, and really engaging the quads and the core when you come back up. And there you have it. So that's a little Chaturanga. As you can see, I'm running out of breath. And you can tap into this again and again, just to, if you're wanting to do a bit of Chaturanga practice. It's a good one. I was Vinyasa taught originally, so that's why I do tend to come back to elements of flow, but the flow I practice now is very, very gentle. It's a more Hatha Vinyasa. Just be careful not to beast yourself when you're doing Chaturanga. It's very easy in class in particular. Teachers might get you to come through Chaturanga repeatedly, but my guidance to you would be, do that if you feel strong in your core, strong in your shoulders, but don't come into a Chaturanga repeatedly where you find after a time you're collapsing, because that's just going to cause you injury. So take it easy. But thank you for joining me today. And so next week we are focused on yoga for happiness. So next Monday I'll be talking about the science behind how yoga benefits our mood and how a yoga affects the structure of our brain. And then I've got a guest speaker next Wednesday, and then learn a pose. Then there's a little break for a week, and then we're finishing this series off with yoga for PTSD in a couple of weeks. But have a lovely day, have a lovely weekend, and I will see you next week.